everyone, my name's Michelle and this is my channel Sewing Bunny, and today's video is all about my February makes. So I've got a few things to share with you, but the first thing I am going to share is actually what I'm wearing, because I totally missed this out from my January makes video. And I don't know why. I think it was because I made it, I think it was the last day of January, and I put it to one side, and then when I was recording my video for all my January makes, this one was just left to one side. But I can't believe I forgot this one because this is gorgeous. This is the Pattern Scissors Cloth Galaxy Tee. Now this pattern is a free pattern and I cannot believe that this is free. I saw it in one of Sam from Frugalissima's YouTube videos. She did a review on this and I was just so surprised when it was free. I thought, well, I'm just going to download it and see what I can do with it. And I had this fabric in my stash and I had 1 metre of this. And this is a gorgeous art gallery jersey, which I got from Beyond the Pink Door. And this quality of jersey is fabulous. It is so soft and it was a joy to work with. It's one of those fabrics that you really get what you pay for. It's really, really nice. And it's in this kind of aqua, kind of bluey green colour with all these kind of sketchy kind of painted flowers. I just think it's beautiful. Anyway, the Galaxy t-shirt, it is a standard cut sort of fit t-shirt, ever so slight curve to the waist here, but the detail of this gorgeous puffy sleeve is what it is all about. And as you can see here, I've got some nice little puffs. It's not too puffy because I'm not like a really kind of puffy sleeve person. I don't mind a little puff, but not too much. But I just think it's a really, really nice one. And this is a cotton and spandex mix. So if you were to make it maybe in like a viscose jersey, it'd probably be even less poofy if you didn't want it like that. But it fits beautifully. Now the sizes in here, they are in centimetres, so you get everything in centimetres. So I fell into the size 92, which is basically a 92 centimetre bust, which I think in inches is about 36.25, I think. And then the waist and the hip measurement, it kind of allows, I think, for if you maybe are a bit of a pear shape. So I will insert a picture of me wearing it because I think it's a really, really nice fit. It fits really well across the bust and the shoulders, but it kind of skims over your waist and hips. It's not clingy, and I don't like clingy t-shirts. I hate it. I like it when they just skim, and so this one is perfect. So I love it. So yeah, that was my first make that I will show you, obviously from January, but let's class it as a February make. So on to what I said I was going to make in my February sewing plans. The first thing that I wanted to try and do was the Forget Me Not Patterns Iris Tee. Now, if you'd seen my plans video, you would have seen that I was a little bit confused as to whether I should do the short sleeve or whether I should do the long sleeve, because they both had these beautiful pleat details in. I'll insert some stock pictures because I can't seem to find my printout anywhere. But yeah, I just really, really liked the look of this. And I'll show you the first one that I made, which I made in this blue jersey. And this is the short sleeved version. So while I was making this up, the instructions were absolutely fine, but I have to admit I'm not actually 100% about these pleats here, because they look really, really nice if you kind of when you're wearing it. I will insert some pictures of those pleats, but then I find that over time they kind of can get a little bit misshapen, and you kind of lose that kind of pleat look, and it just kind of becomes a little bit like a puffy sleeve. So I'm not 100%. I'm not sure if that's maybe my sewing. I did find it quite fiddly because the Forget Me Not patterns do have a very small seam allowance. So I think it's something like, I think it's like a 1/4 inch or something. It is very, very small. So I did find it a little bit difficult with such a small seam allowance. And I can hear my cat meowing to come in the room. Hang on. If the attention's not on Misty, then she's she's not happy. I'll give her some cuddles and then I will come back to you. Silly thing, eh? Right, sorry about that. Okay, yes, so as I was saying, the pleat detail, even though it is really, really nice, I just wasn't 100% on it. I don't know if anyone else has had that problem when they've made this one. It looks lovely if you can kind of sort it out and make it look all nice. But as I say, when I was just wearing it throughout the day, the pleats just seemed to kind of disappear. The only other thing that I did do with this is I did lengthen the pattern, because this I think is, I can't remember what height it's drafted for, but when I was holding the pattern piece up against me, I thought, wow, that's going to be really, really short. So what I did is at the waistline, which is where they said to do the lengthen shorten, I did actually extend this by 2 inches. So yeah, it is still kind of, it doesn't sit too low on me. It sits kind of just at my kind of sort of trouser level. But I'm very glad that I did lengthen this, because otherwise, yeah, you would have definitely been seeing belly when I was wearing it. So that was the first version. Now the second version that I did was in this, oh, lovely, lovely bright pink. I adore this bright in your face colour. I love it. And this one is the long sleeve version, and this has the sort of the 2 kind of pleat detail rather than having like the 3 lines. And this version, I love this one. If I'm going to make the pattern again, then this is the version that I would go for. I think it fits beautifully on my arms. The pleat detail really does kind of stay in place the whole time on this one. So I don't know if I did something maybe with the short sleeve version, but this one is so much better for me. So I really, really like this one. Again, I did do the 2 inches length in the bodice at the waistline to make sure that it was long enough for me. And I love how this one looks. You can see that I've been using my rainbow overlock thread, which I love. So yeah, those were my 2 versions of the Iris tee. I can't remember what size I made, but I will pop the size down here so you know, because I think, yeah, I don't think it's kind of conventional sizing. Next up, I'm going to show you what I did as part of my February sew along. So some of you probably have already seen this, but for those of you that haven't, I did a sew along, and it was for the New Look 6407. Which is this shirt pattern. And I made version A, this one here, with these little cuff details, same as the model's wearing here. And this was part of my Felicity Fabrics blog post. Well, not blog post, vlog post, because I'm part of the Felicity Fabrics blogger team, but I don't write blogs for them. I tend to just show everything on my channel. So they did give me this fabric for free in exchange for a review of whatever I made from it. And this is the finished shirt. I love this so much. This fabric is the softest, like, cotton lawn I think I've probably worked with. It is a white background with these gorgeous bunnies on. It's just perfect. And I mean, I love the whole combination of orange and blue. Those, I just love that as a combination of colours. And I'm so happy with how this turned out. I haven't actually worn it outside yet because I haven't really had any sort of occasion for it. So you may see some kind of pink chalk marks still, I think, where the buttons are. But I did put these navy blue buttons on, which I think go really well with it. So these are just some vintage buttons that I had in my stash. It's a lovely pattern. I love these cuff details here, if I can show you that properly. So you can see there's kind of like a split. So it's so easy to put on that, because it is just like a rectangle that you attach, and you just make sure that you attach it at the bottom but leave the top open. So it's a really lovely effect. And then if we move on to the collar, so what I really like about this is the fact that the shaping of this, the buttons don't go all the way up. It allows for this V shape, which I think is so incredibly pretty. And then it goes to the collar. So the collar, I actually found this quite straightforward. I mean, when I was going through the pattern, there was a couple of times where I did have to think about it a couple of times and, you know, just kind of place bits in, you know, in positions and things just to make sure that I did get it fully right in my head. But I didn't have to kind of do any kind of like lots of unpicking or anything like that. So for big 4 instructions, actually, this one was okay. So it's got an actual collar stand here. So you can see we've got the neck piece here, which then goes all the way around for the collar. Now, if you'd seen my sew along, you would have seen that a couple of the pattern pieces, I did have to kind of change around a little bit because I've got a directional print and I'm not sure if the pattern necessarily kind of goes through any sort of directional print, because if you have a look at the model here, you can see that she's wearing a striped shirt, and actually this shows it off perfectly. You can see that the cuff detail here does actually have stripes going the opposite direction, but it doesn't actually you know, tell you in the instructions, you know, which way if you've got a direction. So I think it assumes that you're copying this with stripes, so it assumes that you want the cuff piece going in the other direction, which I thought was a little bit strange, because you would have thought, you know, if you wanted to have, you know, things going in opposite directions, that you would then know to change it round. But that's just my opinion there. But anyway, so I did have to grade between 2 sizes on here. I did a 14 for the bust, and then I graded out at the waist and hip to a size 16, because the pattern on the back here, so a 14 was a 36 bust, a 28 waist and a 38 hip, and the 16 was a 38 bust, a 30 waist and a 40 hip. So I did need the size 16 for the waists and hips, but for the bust I did need the size 14 because I'm a 36 bust, 30 waist and 40 hip. So I did have to grade between sizes. And again, if you had seen my sew along, I did get a little bit confused when I was grading between sizes, because the front pieces, they were following the same line, the size 14 to the size 16 on this curve area, which I thought was a little bit strange. But then on the back, then I did grade, because that the pattern did have 2 separate lines. I think probably the best thing to explain it is if you just watch that beginning part of the sew along, you'll understand what I mean, because I'm probably not making much sense. But anyway, I really, really like this shirt. I will obviously insert some pictures of me wearing it. It turned out so, so well. It's one of those makes where afterwards you just kind of think, wow, I've actually made that myself. I was so, so proud of myself for it. And I know you guys loved this. I thought it was just, you know, such a lovely project. So thank you for the lovely ladies at Felicity Fabrics for giving me this fabric so that I could review it and do the sew along. So next up, I'm going to talk to you about the Helen's Closet York Pinafore, which I made. So the York Pinafore, I made in a cotton twill, and this was from BST Fabrics, I think it was. And it's quite dark, so I'm not sure if you'll be able to see all the details, but it has got this front pocket on, like a little kangaroo pocket. And the pattern does come with this style pocket, or patch pockets, kind of like semicircle sort of patch pockets. And it's quite a straightforward pattern. You get a front piece, a back piece and a pocket piece. And then for the edges, you finish it off with bias binding, which is what I've done here. Now, some of you may know that bias binding is not a sewing skill that I have mastered yet. I haven't had much success with it, but I used this bias binding, which was from Laura from the Specky Seamstress. And I have to admit, I was really happy with how this went in. It was probably one of the best bias bindings that I've ever tried. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is not perfect. There are some places in here where it just didn't work. I was going so well on some of the slightly straighter bits, but I mean, for instance, this curve section here, you can probably see it's got like some pulls and things on it, because I really was trying to get it to fit, and then I was kind of pressing it and ironing it, trying to get it to stay down. You may see here I've missed out some bits and it's kind of frayed, which is a bit of a shame. So it's not perfect. It certainly isn't my best bias binding, but by no means is it my worst. So overall, I am actually really happy with it, because I think I need to learn how to do bias binding. Like, you know, I really need to try and get better at it. And this sort of project is perfect because you've got to do so much of it. I did actually enjoy it, taking my time with it. But yeah, just a couple of these kind of finishes are not perfect. And you'll probably see, like, you know, here where I didn't quite tuck these bits in, but I didn't really want to unpick it. But I was like, yeah, no one's going to see. Also with the fabric, I'm not sure if you can see here, but you can kind of see like some of the, when I've washed it, some of these kind of washed lines are coming out. I don't know if you guys get that with kind of denims and things, but I quite often do, where I wash it and then I hang it out to dry, and then when I come to like ironing it and things, I see that there's quite a lot of those kind of wash lines in. I mean, I don't mind, because I think it suits this sort of pattern quite well. It's kind of like, looks like you'd kind of wear it, you know, if you're doing things around the house or doing some work and things. So, you know, I don't mind it. But yeah, you can probably see here, you just get these sort of lines, and they don't tend to like come out in like the wash or anything. But to be honest though, I'm actually really happy with it. I mean, I'm pointing out all the flaws and things, probably like most of us would do, but yeah, I really like this, and it just goes really well teamed up with like a t-shirt or something. I made the shorter length out of the two lengths, because you get one length which I think is above the knee, and then the other length is at the knee. So I decided to do above the knee, because I thought this sort of pinafore I would be wearing with tights and things. So I made a size 10 in this one, because in Helen's Closet Patterns, that's the size that I do come up as, and it fits beautifully. The only thing I would say is that getting it over my hips, it doesn't just, you know, fall over my hips. I have to kind of have a bit of a wiggle into it. But because there's no kind of openings or anything at the back, it is just pop it over your head and pull it down. So I do have to kind of wiggle my hips to get it in. But once it's in, then I've got, you know, loads of room to play about with. It's got these lovely deep armholes as well, so you can really show off whatever you're wearing underneath it. I think the pictures that I took of this, I think yes, I wore my pink iris tee with it, and I thought it went really well. So yeah, I'm really happy with that one. The next pattern I'm going to show you is another Helen's Closet pattern. This is the Blackwood Cardigan, and I made it in this mustard sweater knit, which I picked up from Thirst for Fabrics. I bought this mustard colour, a pink version, which I made into a Tilly and the Buttons Bertha cardigan, and then I also still have some kind of berry red colour in my stash. So this is the Blackwood Cardigan. I made the kind of longer length version, if you can see there, and I did omit the pockets because I didn't feel that it was needed for me on this cardigan. This is quite a lightweight kind of knit, and I thought if I was to put pockets on it, you know, if I was to put like my phone or something in the pocket, then it might kind of drag it down, it might cause it to droop. So I decided to not put that in. So I made this out of 1.5 meters, and I'm really happy with how it came out. It's one of those cardigans that it doesn't meet in the middle, so you can't kind of wrap yourself up in it too much. But I actually don't mind that, because I think this would be a lovely cardigan to wear if I go back to the office as well, because I could wear like a shirt or a t-shirt or something underneath it, and it's quite nice being a bit open. I did finish it off with this lovely little label which I got from Rosie from Rosie Sews Modern Vintage. She was selling off some of these, and I picked myself up some, and I just thought it was really nice, that kind of pink with the mustard. And of course I've done my rainbow overlocking thread as well. So this is quite a fitted cardigan, I'd probably say. Again, I'll show you some of the pictures so you can kind of see, but I really like the look of it. And this fabric is so nice and snuggly, so I have been wearing this quite a lot. I mean, to be honest, just around the house with my jogging bottoms and things, but it has kept me nice and warm, so yeah, love that. Now, I did manage to squeeze in one last make during February, which was the Tilly and the Buttons Frankie Tee, which is here. So this fabric, I mean, how cute is that? It's got all these little deers on with these little pink bows. So cute. And this fabric is extra special because it was actually given to me by my lovely friend Anna. She's got a YouTube channel as well called You've Got Me in Stitches. I'll link it down below in case anyone hasn't heard of her, but I think I have mentioned her a few times on my channel because we are friends. And yeah, she gave this to me when we did like a little fabric swap. It was only meant to be one piece, but she snuck this and a couple of others in there as well. And this was kind of like a remnant piece. So I just had enough to do the front of the Frankie. The back I've done in a plain navy so that it matches the sleeves. And I think the plain I got from probably was the Maker's Merchant, which actually was where I got the Iris Tee jerseys from. I don't think I actually mentioned where I got those fabrics from, but yeah, Maker's Merchant for that. So I think it goes really nicely actually with the navy, with those little navy deer. I mean, they're just so sweet. I love the Frankie Tee as a t-shirt anyway, because I think it's a gorgeous shape. It comes from the Tilly and the Buttons book Stretch. And I'll just find you the stock picture. So this is the Frankie Tee, and I'll show you the line drawing as well. So there you go, there's the line drawing. So you get a long sleeve or a 3/4 sleeve, which is the one I made. And as you can see, it does have quite a nice little curve to it. So it is a really nice shape. I do like the shape of the Frankie Tee on me. And I made a size 4 on that one, which is for a 36-inch bust, a 30 waist and a 39 hip. So because it's a t-shirt, I wasn't too worried about the hip being an inch smaller than mine. And I think with this one especially, because the fabric was given to me by my friend Anna, then it is also a little bit extra special as well. So whenever I wear it, I'll always think of her. So yeah, that was all of the makes from February. Hope you enjoyed seeing all of that. Let me know which one was your favourite, and I will speak to you in my next video. Take care everyone. Bye.